Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to put together these sweet little vintage bird's nest ornaments. And I made these with the Dollar Tree plastic silver spoons and the Dollar Tree moss, Spanish moss. And here's the back. You can see what it looks like. These were very quick to put together, and I really enjoyed them. It was very relaxing to me. So stay tuned, and I'll show you exactly what you need to make these. Okay, there will be a little bit of bag rattling in this video, so if you're sensitive to that, please put on your closed captions now. Okay, so you're going to need this utensil set. It's a set of 12 from the Dollar Tree. And it comes with 4 knives, 4 forks, and 4 spoons. And I like this set because the base of the spoon seems so much wider than when I did my very first spoon video. So we're going to leave the handle on for this particular project just to kind of help us hold it. And so the next thing you're going to need is this Folk Art multi-surface paint, and it's in a satin finish, and the name of this paint is called Patina. I picked this up at Walmart for, I believe, $1.40 something for the bottle. Okay, then you're going to need the little triangle makeup sponges, and you can find this at the Dollar Tree in the makeup section in bags of 28. And so we're going to start with those things. Now with this paint, you're only going to need just a dot because we're not trying to cover the spoon. We are going to just tint the spoon with this. So you don't need much at all, maybe that much. And then I used this sponge on the back. So just going to turn it over and just holding on to the spoon. You're going to paint about up to here at the top, okay? And just going to keep doing this. You want some of that silver to show through, and as you're doing this and it begins to dry, then you'll be able to kind of manipulate the paint where you want it to go, because as it dries then it starts to grab onto the sponge, and it doesn't take long. See, you want it about like that, and you're going to do the back the same way. Okay, just going to put a little dot. Okay, I'm going to go up here. Make sure to get any paint that may try to build up around the edges. Okay, see? It's just a tint. See what I mean about building up around the edges like that? So you just have to smooth those out. Okay. Alright, so that looks good. That's about what we want. We want some of the silver to be showing through still, to give it that vintage patina look. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to turn the spoon upside down like this, and we're going to allow it to dry, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now you can see this is completely dried through the magic of YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and then you're going to need some Spanish moss, and this is from the Dollar Tree. It's the Crafter's Square brand, and as you can tell, it's very soft. Okay. Now if you turn it over and look at the end, you can see that it's like a fold over baggie. Okay, so we're going to open it up. We're not going to take this out though because it'll be a mess to do. Okay, and you can see that this is tangled up, which is really good. That's what we want. But you're going to pinch off, oh, maybe you might even have to use your scissors to cut it off, which is fine. Maybe about this much. Okay, and I guess if I were to measure this, this might be maybe a tablespoon's worth, something like that. So I'm going to put this back, set this aside. Okay, so I like the fact that it's all tangled because it's not going to be falling apart super easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to stretch it out to make a line. Okay, just like that. All right, and then you're going to twist it like this. Okay, now like that. Then you're going to take, you can use a dowel or you could use anything basically that you can wrap this around. I'm just using my scissors. And I'm going to wrap this around like that. And then slide this out. Then I'm just going to kind of take my pinky, twist it in there like that. See? Okay. Now, don't worry about all these little fuzzies hanging out because we'll clean this up once we glue this on the base, okay? And don't worry if there's a little hole in the middle or anything like that because that'll be covered up anyway with the eggs, okay? So, I'm going to hold it like this, and then I'm not going to let go of this. With my other hand, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to put some glue right here in the base. Okay? Okay. So now I'm going to place my little nest right here in the center. I'm going to hold it there for just a few seconds, okay? Now, like I said, don't be concerned about all this stuff, okay? Because this is what we're going to do. You're going to take your hot glue gun, like that. If it starts to unravel a little, and just hold it down, like so. And then we're going to start trimming. Okay, see what we have here. And you'll see how this will all come together. And as you're trimming, you can start to see your way clear as to where else you might need a little bit of hot glue. Okay. I don't want to go out of frame. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and I'm still trimming. Giving the nest a little haircut here. here and there. And you do want to leave a little bit of the spoon here and here, and also a little dab around the edges because that's where we're going to put the glitter. Now you want some of the fuzzies to be there, but the ones that are hanging out over the spoon, those are the ones that I'm cutting. Okay. And this part here will take the most time, the trimming part, but it's worth it if you do this. Just take your time and do this because it will come out really nice. There, see what I mean? It's looking good. Okay, and you've got that little hole in the middle. So we're going to put some eggs in there and in just a minute. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm thinking it's looking pretty good, and it's good because we're showing some of the spoon at the bottom and the top and around the edges, which is what we want because we want to put some glitter in there just to make it look really pretty. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's amazing how that transforms the more you cut. All right, so I picked up these little oval-shaped blue beads, and they came in a strand. Purchased them a while back now. I think it was at Michael's, but if you just look for some small oval beads, you'll see a lot that look like eggs. You can get little white pearls too that are oval in shape. And I'm going to be using 3 of these because things are more pleasing to the eye when they're in 3s. Okay, and I'm going to be using my tweezers to pick up the eggs and to place them in the nest the way I want them. Okay, now these little beads right here, these are approximately 7 millimeters in length and 4 millimeters in width. Now when you go to buy beads, it doesn't have to be the identical measurements. Just find some little tiny beads that you think would make really cute little eggs. Okay, so I'm going to move my camera downwards a little bit so you can see this. And the first thing I'm going to do is put some hot glue in here, and you want to work fairly quickly. Putting a fairly good amount of hot glue because I don't want it to dry super quick. I want to give me time to put these eggs in. Put the second one in, and I'm using these Dollar Tree tweezers because I don't care if I gunk these up with hot glue. Alright, there we go. Got 3 little eggs in there. Alright, so I'm going to allow this to dry for just a minute and then we'll be back. Okay, so I have to edit this part in because I lost the footage once I did it and I didn't realize it until I went on to the next step. So you're going to need some Glossy Accents by Ranger. You could use triple thick if you have that instead. I like the fact that it has a nozzle, so I'm able to get in and around the spoon with this Glossy Accents, and I just filled around here, around the spoon, around the edges here, okay? And then once I filled that, then what I did was I went on to the next step to add the glitter. So in the next part of this video, you're going to see me adding the glitter. Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today we're going to make these beautiful little spoons with a little bird nests on them. And this has a beautiful little vintage feel, and they're so easy to put together with very, very few things. So I really hope you stay tuned to watch this. Cancel. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the spoon, the bowl off about up to here, okay? And now normally I would say, in order to do this, use some of your heavy-duty wire cutters or something like that. But since I'm at my brother's house right now and I only have half my craft supplies, I decided just to use these heavy-duty Stanley scissors. So you're going to cut it about there. You want a little bit left because you want to put the bail on in the back, okay? So I'm going to cut this off like that. Now, if you see that it's not exactly even, that's okay. You can go in with a fingernail file and flatten it out, okay? Like this. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is come back in with, let's see, where did I put that? With my patina paint. And I'm just going to put the tiniest little drop. That's actually way too much, but I'll go ahead and just kind of dab it onto paper here to get rid of a lot of it. And I'm just going to touch the top tip like that, just so it'll be the same color, okay? So that looks pretty good right there. And so the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding a little faux bow. And I just took some of this pretty glittery ribbon. You can purchase all kinds of things like this. I have some velvet ribbon that's about this size as well. And I think it's about 1/4 of an inch wide. And you can get it really cheap from China on eBay. So I'm just going to make what they call a faux bow. And I'm just going to cut a little piece of this off. And I'm just going to make a simple overhand knot. Like this. I'm going to pull it a little snug, but not too snug. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it at an angle on both sides, like that. And make sure it looks fairly even. About like that, I think. Okay, and then I'm just going to hot glue it right here at the top. You don't want the top showing. You don't want to put it down there. You want to put it about up here, okay? So I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue here with my hot glue gun. And some hot glue here on the back. And I'm going to hold that on at the top so it doesn't fall forward. Just for a second, just to make it grab. like that. Okay, so now we're going to come back with, on the back I should say, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're going to go to the back, and I'm going to put one of these little glue-on bails. You can purchase medium-size glue-on bails, and that's just perfect. Just type in the words medium glue-on bails. Make sure to add the word glue-on. You can type those words into eBay, and you'll get a lot of different ones pop up. Okay, and you're going to use this little E6000 glue. I like this in the small tubes. It gives me more control, and the odor doesn't seem to be as bad. Although they do have the odorless E6000 now. There was a seller on Etsy that was selling it too. So okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that E6000 right here in the bed of the bale, and I'm going to turn this over. You're going to place it right about here. See, so it looks like this. Alright, and when you set this down to dry, make sure you have something with a little ledge on it that you can kind of sit the spoon like that to dry, and be careful because sometimes this does slide around. At times I did decide to put a bit of hot glue with it just so it would hold it, but for projects like this, honestly, the only trouble with that is when you use the hot glue, sometimes it can get really messy, and with tiny projects like this, and sometimes it'll leak out of the side. So I just opted to do it this way and just to kind of keep an eye on it. And you know, if you give it a few minutes, it'll bond enough to where it won't be sliding around. So you want to let this dry at least overnight, at least, okay? And it depends on how humid the area is that you live in. So we're just going to allow this to dry like this overnight, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. And then the last part is we're going to add some beautiful little silver eyelash trim to this and top it all off. So I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to sprinkle this on quickly, and then I will turn it upside down. Generally, I would not be shaking this over these trimmings here, because I would want to put this back, you know, whatever I didn't use into the container, but I just have a tiny bit left, so I'm not real worried about it. I'm going to be mixing some more glitter anyway. Okay, now as you can tell, this does have that glass glitter in it, and look how it just really brings out that shine. It's just amazing. Okay, so I'm going to allow this to sit overnight, and then as soon as it's totally dry, then we'll come back and do the very last things to this. It's very easy to make, and I think it's really pretty. So we'll do the last little final touches as soon as this dries. Okay, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now our bale has dried, and we're going to add some of this beautiful metallic eyelash trim to hang the spoon from the tree. Okay, and this is a real pretty type of fiber or yarn, and there's a lot of really beautiful yarns in the, or fibers in the craft store right now. So all we're going to do is just take a little piece and slide it through the bale. Large bales will also work if that's all you can find, but I think the medium-sized bales actually work the best for this type of project. And I'm just going to tie this in 2 overhand knots at the very top. There we go. And I'm going to cut this off right here at the tip. Just like that. So you'll have a very vintage Christmassy look like that. And that's all there is to putting these little spoons together. So I think this turned out very pretty. And here's my other spoon that I made. See, each little nest turns out a little bit different than the next. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And everyone who's watching this, thank you so much for subscribing. And I wish you all a very blessed Christmas. Bye-bye. Take care.